Yes, and welcome to Bloodlines and Betrayal. I am your host, the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully, and we are not having any technical difficulties. And with me is always the man himself, Coach Schuman. And tonight, we will be talking about a passion case of mine, a case that I've been following for 2 years, a case that I've been harassing Dave about for several months. And we finally have the platform to talk about it. It is the most controversial case going on right now in the United States, arguably more controversial than the Lori Vallow Daybell case, even though she's representing herself and doing a hysterical job at that. This one is about the trial of Karen Read, or should I say the second trial of Karen Read. And I was inspired to do this because I am a loyal, as they say, turtle rider. And many of you will wonder what that means. Turtle rider means you watch a controversial blogger and controversial podcaster named Turtle Boy, aka Aidan Carney. His name's Aidan Carney. He was a former school teacher. He was a high school teacher. He coached track. And he did Turtle Boy secretly because he's very conservative, and he didn't want to get in trouble, found out by the school about his blogging and his podcasting. So he gets caught eventually because he went to a Buffalo Bills game at Buffalo. He's a hardcore New England Patriots fan, and he kind of acted up. And someone from Buffalo, found out who he was. They saw his face, found out who he was, and then they put it on Twitter and went to town and exposed him. Buffalo just blew up his spot. So the school was getting hammered with emails. The school was getting dominated on Twitter, and they eventually were like, we're going to have, we can't keep you as a teacher anymore. But he had tenure. So they ended up coming to a financial agreement where they paid him. I'm making you yawn already. They paid him his salary, and for a year, I think he got a full year's worth of salary, and he left on his own, is on good terms. So he basically, kind of like you, Dave, just without the camps, he kind of made a career out of blogging and podcasting. And I am a loyal turtle rider. I read his blogs, and I pay a membership fee to get his website. You can go on a site
to get turtle.
No, but you can go on a site ad free, but he has so many ads that it's a pain. So I pay for the ad free version, and I pay to support him because I think he calls himself an award-winning journalist because he was named Worcester's top journalist, ahead of the Worcester Telegram and Gazette and everything else. He was named the best journalist in Worcester. Wow. So he calls himself for like 3 years in a row. So he calls himself, and then they stopped handing out the award because he kept winning it. So he calls himself an award-winning journalist, and he also prefers to go by Dr. Turtleboy, because his reasoning is if Joe Biden's a doctor, then he should be a doctor.
Interesting. So The Karen Read case, give the background gist of the case. Okay. And
Yep.
then just so people understand who don't know.
So I was in the hospital for a month when I had my amputation, and all I read was Turtle Boy. And Turtle Boy started covering the Karen Reed case during this time, and he's covered nothing else really since. So the Karen Reed case, allegedly, they went out. It's about the murder of her boyfriend, John O'Keefe, a Boston police officer.
Right.
They went out in Canton, Massachusetts, to two bars, the Waterfall, C.F. McCarthy's. Okay. And then they met up with a group of people. Jen McCabe is one of them. The Alberts, Brian Albert, Carrie Roberts, a whole group of Cantonites, as he calls them. They're like townies, Canton townies. And John O'Keefe didn't really know them that well. Karen Reed didn't know them at all. They were invited back to the Alberts' house to keep the party going because the bar was closing.
Got it.
So Karen Reed drove with John. Karen Reed didn't want to go because she's like, I don't know these people. I just want to go to bed. So she goes and she goes to the house. They call to make sure they're at the right house. John gets out of the car, and John was supposed to call her when he got in.
Right.
To just let her know. So she's out there waiting and calling, and John's not answering. And she's leaving him nasty messages saying, fuck you. Like, where the fuck are you? This is fucking bullshit. So she ends up leaving. Now, the Commonwealth alleges as she was leaving, she saw him and backed into him, killing him, which is completely asinine because the experts from ARCA does accident reconstruction.
Right.
They were hired by the federal government because there was a federal investigation into the investigation of this whole thing. ARCA said it was physically impossible for her to. Now, first of all, the Commonwealth said she did a 3-point turn and hit him. Then they said she turned and backed up and hit him. They've changed their theory a bunch of times. Okay. They said that she backed into him, killed him, and left him to die. And she said, first of all, do you think that I wouldn't notice that I backed into somebody? Because she had a broken tail light. You don't think I would notice that I backed into and hit someone and get out of the car and help them? The love of my life? Like, that's ridiculous. So she leaves, she goes home, and she doesn't really sleep. She's nervous because she hasn't heard from John. She calls and she calls and she calls, and there's no response. No response, no response, no response. Finally, at 4 a.m., she calls Jen McCabe and Carrie Roberts. She's like, I don't know. I'm worried about John. I don't know what's going on. I haven't heard from him. Can we drive around and look for him? Because she didn't know the area, so she called for help. So they come, they pick her up, they go to John's house. He's not there. So then they go back to 34 Fairview Road, and this is where, it gets controversial. Carrie Roberts and Jen McCabe claim that they never saw his body. Karen Reed, once they got close to the house, immediately said, stop the car, I see him. She gets out. She sees him.
Okay.
She starts performing CPR on him. She's freaking out. She's livid. She's just a mess. She's performing CPR. She's saying, help me, help me, help me. Give me towels to warm him up. He's frozen. He's freezing. So the police come, first responders come, everyone comes. They tell her, at the scene, he's had cardiac arrest. They're trying to resuscitate him. They bring him to Good Samaritan Hospital. He's pronounced dead. So the shenanigans begin with the investigation. Michael Proctor was the lead investigator, and he and Yuri Bukaki, as Turtle Boy calls him.
Bukaki.
Yeah, Turtle Boy calls him Bukaki. They, first of all, they interview. They never go in the house of where the Alberts lived, which was asinine. You know, you have a cop who was murdered outside this house. You don't go inside the house. You don't look at anything. You don't look for any signs of a struggle, any signs of an. Can you stop yawning?
So I must be so tired.
I'm not putting you to sleep. I'm not putting you to sleep. This is big shit right here.
No, I'm just tired. It has zero to do with you.
It does have to do with me. I'll try to be more entertaining.
No, you're entertaining.
So they never go in the house. Then they go to a friend's house, and Michael Proctor and Yuri Bukaki interview these people as a group. All right. There's really like 12 main witnesses in this case. And they interview them as a group. None of it was recorded. Brian Albert never woke up during all this. He said he slept through it all. There's a dead cop on his lawn. There's cops, first responders.
I remember this case now. I remember when this happened. I remember thinking that it was so wacky because of the claims that the guy sleeping on the couch, like, how does that happen?
Like, nobody woke up. Like, he claims he never woke up. He never knew that John O'Keefe was at the house. Now, and every witness that they called that was at this party say that John O'Keefe never came in the house.
Never came in the house.
Never came in the house. I think there were, yeah. And now the other best part is people who left the party said they never saw his body. So you're gonna
buy it?
Yeah, you're not gonna see a 6'2", 220-pound man lying in the snow as you're walking to your car.
So the theory is that he was placed there.
Yeah, the theory. Okay, so the theory is if you Google John O'Keefe autopsy photo arm, which I would like you to see, the theory was that he went in the house. Now he didn't get he had been neighbors with the Alberts before. He didn't get along with them. He didn't get along with the son because they used to like throw beer cans on his lawn or whatever. So the theory is he came in the house, he got into an altercation, and there was a fight. And, you know, Colin Albert, one of the son of Brian Albert, beat him up with other guys in the house. Matt McCabe, Brian Higgins. There's a bunch of names that are all cops. And they beat him up and then threw him outside. Threw the body outside. And
they know they killed him, you're saying?
The defense says it's a major conspiracy. It's a big cover-up because they're protecting the blue line. They're all cops. And there was a text from Brian Albert to Michael Proctor, who was the lead investigator. Am I okay on this? And his response was, you're a cop. You're good. So everyone thinks,
so
you know,
why are they trying to plant it on Karen Reed? Because
he was found outside. When she got there, allegedly, she said to a paramedic, I hit him 3 times. The paramedic testified yesterday, and he changed his story. At the first trial, he said that she said it 3 times. I hit him. This time, 2 times. This time, he said that she said it 3 times. And her defense lawyers were like, does your memory get better over time? Is that what happens? Like, do you remember better as time goes on?
Right.
And yeah, so there were many claims that she said it was more, could I have hit him? Did I hit him? Like she was asked, she was talking out loud, but she was in a complete state of shock. She was emotionally distraught. She had to be brought to a hospital and sedated because she was going so ballistic and crazy, because she's like, oh my God, he's dead. Oh my God, he's dead. So they had she was charged initially with involuntary manslaughter. And then they upped the charges to there's 3 of them, I think, leaving the scene of a crime, and she got charged with first or second degree murder, which is outrageous. So the first trial, now the big story was the first trial ended with a hung jury.
Right.
That isn't true. Turtle Boy interviewed a juror. The juror said that they voted to acquit her on murder and manslaughter.
Got it.
And the judge would not, or the jury foreman and the judge called it a mistrial. They would not let them acquit only on those 2 things. So the defense team appealed to the federal government and everything got, turned down. But the juror said, like, we voted not guilty, not guilty. And they shouldn't even be having this second trial. So it's really caught the eye of the nation because Karen Reed, I mean, she's beautiful.
Right.
A cop was murdered, and there's so much of a conspiracy behind it because everyone in the house lied, basically. And in today's testimony, Carrie Roberts, who was the one to pick up Karen Reed to go look for John O'Keefe, admitted on the stand that she lied to the grand jury in her testimony. So it's been pointed out several times. She has an amazing defense team. I've worn the shirt many times, Jackson and Yannetti. She has Alan Jackson, who represented Kevin Spacey, got him off. Yeah. And David Yannetti, who is a local, he was her first attorney, a local mass attorney, very good. Alan Jackson is from California. So her defense costs were enormous. She mortgaged her house. She moved in with her parents, and Turtle Boy took up her cause because he was outraged that nobody was there was no coverage of this case. He thought it was ridiculous. So Turtle Boy found out several things that helped the defense. One of which was Jen McCabe, who was in the house. She Googled how long to die in the cold at 2:30 in the morning. Why would she Google that? And she deleted it from her Google search. So it didn't initially come up in her Cellbrite data. But when Turtle Boy and the defense team had their experts look at her phone, they found it. Okay. The prosecution claims that Karen Reed asked Jen McCabe to Google this at 6 a.m. when they found the body. And the reason that it shows up at 2:30 is because the tab was open at 2:30 and she Googled it on the same tab. So there's nothing behind it. When in fact there were 2 Google searches, the one at 6:30 was a separate search on a separate tab that shows up that she never deleted. So prosecutor Michael Proctor, or the investigator Michael Proctor, did a shoddy investigation, and he now is fired because of an internal affairs investigation and because of his conduct during the Karen Reed trial.
Really? Interesting.
Well, the defense found, you get access to text messages, emails, during the investigation.
Of course.
Michael Proctor had a group text with his buddies. Going through Karen Reed's phone, and he said some pretty bad things, like, we're going to nail the bitch. The bitch is guilty. And I haven't found any nudes yet. Google Michael Proctor tweets. He was forced to read these tweets in open court. And so if the lead investigator, he ended up suspended and then fired.
Wow.
So if that's what you're basing your case on, you're saying that your lead investigator just got fired by the state police. And you know how hard it is to get fired if you're a state police cop.
Right.
He got fired, and now he still has to testify. He's a disgraced state policeman, and his texts were ridiculous. Now, the second issue was the broken taillight. The prosecution asserts that John O'Keefe was injured by the taillight and a cocktail glass. And like I said, if you Google John O'Keefe autopsy photos of his arm, you can clearly see. I just want you to look at it, because I want to know what you think caused the injuries.
Well, where is it again? What is it?
Just Google John O'Keefe autopsy arm photos. Because I want you, without telling you, I want to ask you what you think caused these injuries. And if it looks consistent with someone hit by a 6,000-pound Lexus SUV.
All right, so I'm looking at. Hold on. I looked at the tweets, and now I'm looking at. What am I looking at now?
I want you to Google John O'Keefe.
John O'Keefe, yeah.
Autopsy arm photos. And you can even pull it up for everyone to see if you want.
Oh. Okay.
So take a look at that.
I'm showing it right now.
Okay. If you want to show the class, show the class. Okay. What does that look like? It was caused from being hit by a car?
No.
No, it doesn't. What would you say that would look like to you? If you had
that looks to me like someone getting cut with like a knife or some sharp object.
The Alberts had a dog named Chloe.
Okay, I can see that too.
A dog named Chloe. Chloe was not the nicest dog in the world. She didn't get along with strangers. She has a history of attacking other dogs. She has a history of attacking people.
Okay.
So the defense argued this wasn't caused by being hit by a car. You know, a broken taillight wouldn't cause this.
Right.
There was a fight in the house, and the dog Chloe attacked John O'Keefe. And you can see from the down, and the defense had a medical expert come in, who's a medical expert on dog bites and dog attacks, and say 100% that's what happens when a dog attacks you, bites you, or scratches you. That's what you get. That's his arm. And the wound on the back of his head would render him incapacitated. And the defense says that if he were hit by a car and fell backwards onto the snow, the ground wasn't hard enough to have, cause a fracture to his head, a cranial fracture. And the only way it could have happened was inside the house. He got into a dispute. He got attacked, punched, whatever, fell down, hit his head. There were no wounds on his torso, legs, feet, ankles, anything. The wounds were all to the head and, to his arms. So the theory of him getting hit by a car doesn't play. And the ARCA experts, ARCA is the most renowned accident reconstruction group in the country. They weren't hired by Karen Reed. They were hired by the feds who investigated the investigation. And their report stated he was not hit by a car. And the prosecution ignored it, still went along with the prosecution of Karen Reed. The only reason Karen Reed has the attorneys she has is because of Turtle Boy raising money for her defense and a GoFundMe.
Oh, I should be dead in the water.
Yeah, I mean, she mortgaged her house. She couldn't afford this team. She has a team of 4 lawyers. She wouldn't afford this team for two trials. This is the second trial that just started. And the defense is doing a phenomenal job. Alan Jackson's opening statement. Now, the prosecution brought in a ringer. The prosecution brought in a special prosecutor by the name of Hank Brennan.
Okay.
Does that name ring a bell to you at all? No?
Hank Brennan, no.
He represented Whitey Bulger.
Oh.
He was a mob lawyer. He's not really, he's not a prosecutor. They brought him in because the previous attorney was a dope. So Hank Brennan called Peggy O'Keefe to the stand today, the mother of John O'Keefe. And it really didn't do anything for the case. It was just, a manipulative play to, obviously get the jury's sympathy. But Karen Reed has had to deal with this since 2022.
So she claims she dropped him off.
She claims she dropped him off, waited for him to go in the house. She never saw him go in the house.
Okay, she never saw him go in the house.
She called and called. She was out there for 10 minutes waiting to hear back from him that, hey, it's okay. You can leave. I'm good to go. Right. Never hears back, leaves, goes to her house. And she never hears from him. She's calling, she's texting, never hears from him. And then that's when she called.
And they're claiming that he hit her. She hit him
with a 600-pound Lexus SUV. Her taillight was broken. Okay. So this is where it gets crazy. The taillight, you can see on the film of her house that she backs in to another car, and that's where her taillight clearly breaks. Not from hitting John O'Keefe. However, 40 pieces. Now, initially, when they did the CERT team came in and did a search outside the house for evidence or anything, they didn't find any pieces of taillight. Over the next 3 weeks, Michael Proctor, Bukaki, and the state or the Canton police chief did searches on their own and found 40 pieces of taillight. They never photographed them, nothing. They just found them and bagged them on property. Does that make any sense to you? That
No.
the CERT team came with leaf blowers to clear the snow, didn't find any taillight. So they towed Karen Reed's car to the police garage. The film that they gave, the video film they gave to the defense was inverted, meaning it was supposed to be the right side, but it was really the left side. And they didn't tell the defense that. You can see there's people in the video who are unrecognizable, like in the prosecution doesn't know who it is. People think that they broke the taillight further while they're in the garage, and they spread the taillight pieces on 34 Fairview Road. Now, immediately after all this happens, the person who owns the house, Brian Albert, rehomes the dog, Chloe. She allegedly is in a home in Vermont.
Right.
And he sells the house. And he sells the house for, he takes probably $30,000 less than what it's worth. Moves out. And he has the floor in the basement replaced.
Yeah.
So that's all suspect.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So this guy sells the house. Now they want to get bite marks from the dog. Okay. But the Alberts are like, well, we don't really know where the dog is right now. So allegedly they found that where Chloe was in Vermont, they went up and they had bite marks taken. And the bite marks don't match the arm. The defense was never allowed to see the dog or get the impressions taken. So they're not, I don't think they're going to be introduced at trial because the defense didn't have access to it. So that's why I think Karen Reed is 100% not guilty. Turtle Boy took up her cause. He does podcasts about the case all the time. He raised money for her defense. You know, they helped tremendously pay for her attorneys. She's been on Dateline, 2020, a lot of documentaries. And I just think that she's being framed. And it's a shame. One of the other jurors was an attorney.
Right.
She made a statement. It was right before the trial starts, saying that I became a lawyer because I had faith in the judicial system. After being on this jury, I absolutely do not. It's a shame that the Commonwealth is wasting millions of taxpayers' dollars on this case that shouldn't be even brought to trial. And I'm disgusted.
Why are they trying to set her up in particular?
Someone's got to take the fall. It's a cop. It's a dead cop. Someone's got to take the fall. And the only one, they're not going to, everyone who was at the house were cops.
Got it.
They were cops. And John O'Keefe and Karen Reed were not part of the inner circle of this group.
Right.
This group from Canton. So blame it on the girl. That's what her attorney said. Blame it on the girl. I just want to see if I can find Michael Proctor, the lead investigator, his tweets that he had to read in open court. This is what he said about her. Because they were his text, because they were absolutely disgusting.
Did he even know her? Did these guys know her at all?
No, they didn't know. They barely knew John O'Keefe.
Even though
they barely knew John O'Keefe.
So the whole theory is that they confronted him or he confronted them. They got in a fight. They killed him in the fight. They had to blame someone, so they blamed her.
Yep.
Okay. They blamed her. Interesting.
So Michael Proctor, he was texting his high school friends. A friend asked, "Is she hot at least?" And Proctor replied, "Absolutely." And then he said, "She's a whack job." Then spelled out a vulgar word for a woman. And you know, these are your words. He said, "She's a cunt." Proctor continued, "She's a babe. She has a weird."
The guy who was in charge of the investigation?
Yes.
Oh my
She
God.
said she has a weird Fall River accent and has a fat ass. And you know, the prosecution made him read these texts because they had to account for him. And the prosecutor at the time said, "Why did you text this?" And Proctor said, "I was unprofessional, and these were regrettable comments and something I'm not proud of, and I shouldn't have wrote in private or any type of setting." Proctor also testified he shared a picture of Reed being walked out of the Milton State Police Barracks when someone asked if Reed was a smoke show. He replied, "Eh," and he made a disparaging remark about a medical condition. He said that she used to wear a bag. Ugh. Because she had a condition where she had to wear a colostomy bag.
Got it.
So this is the lead investigator.
This is the lead investigator. Jeez.
So this is why he ended up being suspended and fired for the conduct and the text messages.
That's great.
Yeah, and so Chris Albert testified. I'm sure that am I going to receive any shit for this? And Proctor responded, "Nope, you're a Boston cop too." So,
well, do I believe that?
Yeah.
It seems to me that this could be theoretically. It makes a lot of sense that this could be the case. The question is, how do they prove that she was not involved? Like, how they have proof?
Well, because of the timeline, the medical examiner said that he died from the head injury, not hypothermia. And if he really was hit, now the prosecution says that she was hit at 12:30 in the morning. If he was hit, John O'Keefe was hit outside and incapacitated at 12:30. They don't find him till 6. His phone would have been frozen and shut off. Right. They're trying to say that his body kept the phone on. Well, if you're outside in 2-degree weather, you're going to freeze. Right. Your phone's going to freeze. Your body's not going to keep it cold. So it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Interesting case.
Yeah, and that's why I am an advocate for Turtle Boy. I'm an advocate for Karen Reed, the judge in the case, Beverly Canoni. She's as cunty as it gets. She is completely biased. And the other thing that I didn't mention is Michael Proctor has a relationship with the McCabe's. He was in Jen McCabe. He was at Jen McCabe's wedding. Wow. Jen McCabe is a major witness in this case. So there's a conflict of interest already, and it was ignored. And he was allowed to stay on and investigate the case. And I'll give you another piece.
It's hard. It's
The
hard to trust the Boston police force after they took care of Whitey Ford for so long.
Whitey Bulger.
Whitey Bulger for so long.
Well, they basically had him killed.
Well, they did in the end.
Yeah, they sent him to another prison. He wasn't in protective custody, and he got beat with a sock and a sock and a rock, basically. But I had one other point I was going to make. Yeah, there's connections, there's conflicts of interest across the board,
right?
And they were ignored. And Michael Proctor should have never been in charge of the investigation because of because he has a prior relationship with several of the people in the house. And like I said, none of the interviews with the witnesses were videoed or recorded. He interviewed them as a group in someone's house.
That was weird too. I remember that.
So it's just bias across the board against this. And ARCA are the best accident reconstructionists in the country, and they said there's no way he got hit by a car. He got in the house, he got beat up, he got attacked by a dog, and then they threw him outside like a piece of trash around 3 a.m. So the other piece of evidence I had, Turtle Boy found a witness, okay? He found a plow driver for Canton. His name is Lucky Laughlin, Brian Laughlin. Lucky Laughlin plows the streets of Canton. He's done it for 20 years. He plowed right by 34 Fairview Road at 2:30 in the morning. Never saw a body. He was asked several times, did you see anything? Was there a body? Because the lights go to the side.
Right.
Because they don't want to hit any dogs or cats running across. So he would have seen a body. He said, I saw no body. To me, that ends the case right there. If the body wasn't outside at 2:30 in the morning, no charges should have been filed against Karen Reed. There's no way she could have done it because the body allegedly was out there since 12:30. And, people are coming and going and nobody sees it. How credible is that?
That's crazy.
So that is why I wanted to talk about the case. I watch it. I'm passionate about it. Turtle Boy got me into it. I'm a big Karen Reed supporter. If I could drive, I would go to the trial and protest. And, I know that you're tired.
Well, it's an interesting case because she was with him.
And they're alleged, because she was drinking and driving. She didn't really drink that much. She bought 4 drinks, but on the film at C.F. McCarthy's at the bar, she barely drinks them. And I believe when they tested her blood,
what's her background? Is she an innocent person?
She never got into trouble. She worked at a financial firm. She had a great job. She's very smart. She's articulate. She's beautiful, and they're going after her. And the second trial, they brought in a special prosecutor, which is Hank Brennan, who represented Whitey Bulger. And, the defense team, I think, is incredible. Alan Jackson, David Yannetti, I think they're incredible. Even Eliza Little is incredible. And, it's funded by Turtle Boy. Turtle Boy is the main source of funding. Turtle Boy found witnesses for them. Turtle Boy did so much to help the defense. Now, he's charged with 19 counts of witness intimidation.
Right, because he was tampering.
No, he didn't really tamper. I told you the one incident where he went to Jen McCabe's lacrosse game. He did in 2023 what was called a rolling rally. Okay. So him and his supporters went to all the houses of all the key witnesses. Now, they stayed on public property, but they went to like Michael Proctor's house.
Right.
And Turtle Boy had a megaphone saying, how come you're not investigating Jen McCabe for how long to die in the cold? She Googled it at 2:30 in the morning. He's asking questions. This investigation is faulty. Who else are you looking at? How come there are no suspects? Then they would drive and go to Jen McCabe's house. Jen McCabe, why'd you go Google how long to drive in the cold? Why did you do that? Why is it funny to you? Why do you lie about loving John O'Keefe? So he
she loved John O'Keefe?
Well, yeah, they had problems here and there, but they were still very much in love. John O'Keefe, his brother died unexpectedly. Okay. John O'Keefe was raising his niece and nephew. And Karen Reed was like a mother to them, like a stepmother to the kids.
So it seems like to me, if what you say is true, that when she dropped him off, he went inside. They had some disagreement about something. He probably stepped up to them. They're a mob of people because they all know each other.
Yeah.
They beat him up.
Yep.
They beat him up a little bit too much.
Well, I think it was an accident. Like he probably got
or he hit his head. Right.
And he hit his head. Yes.
He hit his head.
He cracked his head open. And instead of calling 911, they're like,
fuck. And how do we get this so we don't go to jail?
Now, the thought process initially was Colin Albert, the son of Brian Albert, was the one who did this because he comes off as a hard ass. He's 20 years old. He plays football at Bridgeport State. And he was the one who would have conflicts when they were neighbors, like when in his younger years. So they protected Colin Albert. We think that they called and said, "Hey, Colin, we don't want to screw up his life. Can you help us?" And they tried to say Colin Albert was never in the house at the time when John O'Keefe was there. Right. When in reality he was. They think that he got into some shit with him. And it was probably an accident, but then the dog attacked him because he was a stranger and they didn't know what to do. So they just threw the body outside and, tried to come up with they all, colluded together to come up with their alibi. They're like, oh, he never even came in the house.
Right.
And, we can all say that. No, we never saw him come in. And that's what the witnesses all say. So, but with the plow driver's testimony, he plowed the roads. He sees everything. He's dead set. I never saw him. And with ARCA, the accident reconstructionist saying there's no way that he got hit by a car. The prosecution's theory of how he got hit doesn't hold water. We did test after test after test, which they showed that he couldn't have gotten hit by a car. So that is why the jury was not really hung the first time. If you read about it, they voted to acquit on the manslaughter and murder charges. They were hung on leaving the scene of an accident or whatever. But the judge never let the defense team poll the jury. The jurors were confused by the judge's instructions, and didn't know that they could acquit on 1 or 2 charges and, be hung on another. They
Right.
thought they had to acquit on everything, and they weren't. But the judge refused to bring the jurors back and repoll them or do anything like that. They went to they appealed federally, and the Fed said that we're not getting involved. So that's why I wanted to talk about the case. It's polarizing. It shouldn't be, though. It shouldn't be.
Well, it shouldn't be, but because of
the blue wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all protecting each other. They're all protecting each other. But it's bullshit. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. And I 100% believe that she's going to be acquitted.
Sounds like, remember, it has to be.
There's reasonable doubt everywhere.
Right.
It's by moral certainty and a reasonable doubt. It's everywhere. This case should never have gone to trial in the first place. So I think, they have a good jury. The defense has done a good job so far. The opening statements, I thought, her attorney, Alan Jackson, was on point, was the best that he's been. His cross-examinations have been great. He got Carrie Roberts today to admit that she lied to the grand jury in her testimony. Yep. He tore the paramedic apart who said, I hit him. Said that she said that. He's like, oh, your memory gets better over time. You must be someone special, because that doesn't ever happen. People's memory doesn't get better over time.
Of course.
You must be one of the few. So they've been tearing apart the witnesses. The only witness was John O'Keefe's mother, who should not have testified because it didn't add anything to the case. So that's what I wanted to go over.
That was great.
Yeah. No,
great.
Sure great.
It's hard for me to sit in one seat for this long, but yeah.
No, that's it. I just wanted to.
Great case.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
It sounds like
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, I guess.
Just if you get a chance, watch Turtle Boy's show from last night. It's on YouTube. I know you're falling asleep, but you can put it on as you're falling asleep. And watch it. No, I mean he makes good points. He's at the trial, but he has to leave when a witness that has an indictment against him testifies. So, like, John O'Keefe's mother is one of the 19 indictments of witness intimidation. He had to leave the courtroom when she testified. Yes. It's hilarious, but
what an interesting case.
But the witness intimidation in Massachusetts, you have to be in fear of the person to be charged with witness intimidation, and none of these people are afraid of Turtle Boy. He's 5'9", 170 pounds, like he's little, right. And they mock him and make fun of him. They're not afraid of him. So that's why, this case was something I wanted to talk about. It's polarizing. We don't know which way it's going to go. And I appreciate you
hanging in there.
Well, no, I appreciate you staying up after I missed us this morning. I will be going to Nashville tomorrow for my friend's bachelor party.
That sounds like fun.
I am bringing my podcast equipment so I can do our show Friday. And Mike Burton had told me that Joe Figiano is going to be the starter for sure.
Oh, wow.
Because I told him, again, I'm going to stand outside your complex. And if he shows up, I'm beating him up. I'm going to tackle him.
That's funny.
So, yeah, that's it.
Turtle Boy has broken the case. Karen Reed will go free.
I hope so.
I remember the
Karen
case
Reed.
when it came out, and I thought,
You really do.
yes, because the thing I remembered was that made me suspicious. But then I kind of went on with my life because I thought, because it was
Everyone did.
they just said Karen Reed did it, right? So
Yeah.
but I remember thinking, wow, that's really weird. How could somebody be sleeping?
Slept through it all.
All this stuff happened.
Yeah. While all this is going on.
And a person is outside freezing in the yard?
And people are just going out to their cars and leaving. Nobody sees them.
Nobody sees them.
Nobody sees them.
Yeah, and this is why I think it's impossible. Okay?
It is.
Because they find Jack Nicholas in The Shining when he's frozen. And he's sitting there like this.
Yeah.
They see him. They go right by him. They see him. They're like, it's frightened by it, you know?
Even though it's the dark. I mean, he was right by. Like, you walk by his body if you're going to your car.
Unless they're that drunk. That's the only thing.
They were all drunk. They were all drunk. Yes. But I mean,
but even when people are drunk, there's still some people that aren't.
He's 6'2". He was 6'2", 220. Like, you're not gonna miss that.
Crazy. Yes. So, I think she's got a good chance.
I think I do too. And
you probably just like her because she's hot.
She is hot, but I it's Turtle Boy that got me.
Well, remember this though. Mass women are dangerous.
I agree. I agree.
They have hot tempers.
Oh, they do. They can go off at any second.
Meanwhile, Connecticut, see, it's interesting. Jersey women have hot tempers too. Different than Mass.
Oh, Jersey women.
New York women definitely have hot tempers.
No, they don't. People from New York are very easy.
Connecticut women were some of the nicest women I ever
Very
met.
Sweet, yes.
Isn't that amazing?
Well, it's because of you, because you're a charmer.
No, I don't. I mean, I was, but that doesn't mean that's why they were sweet. I just think that. Well, I'm judging off of Connecticut school people, but I remember thinking, wow, the girls here for the most part are very nice. I remember even as a freshman, I thought, where I went to school growing up, like they were nice. I mean, they were friends, but like they weren't giving you an inch. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, not at all.
Connecticut girls were very, very nice. Very, you know what the word is? They were caring.
They were compassionate.
And they were kind.
Kind and compassionate.
Yes.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Sometimes to their detriment, especially when it came to athletes. But
yeah, very much.
But kind and compassionate, which is amazing considering Massachusetts, which is right above them, those women are tough.
But yeah, so
Karen Reed trial.
We'll see what happens. Yeah. We'll see what happens. We may give updates. It's supposed to go for.
People watch this pod today, despite my 50 yawns.
Well, it's a great show, and I am the best podcast host in the universe, so that's not surprising. Yeah, so it's supposed to go 8 weeks.
Okay.
We'll see what happens. I can't wait for the defense to put on their case. And I'm pro Karen Reed. I don't think there's anyone else she did.
If she's innocent, truly innocent, and she could go to jail, and all she did was drop somebody off. That's crazy. Think about
I don't think it should. She should never have been charged with murder. They're saying it's premeditated murder. Because she was fighting with him and would just. So now's the time. I'm going to drop him off. I'm just going to back into him and end his life. It's fucking bullshit. The prosecution is bullshit. They've wasted millions of dollars on her. Taxpayer money. That's where you're going to. Congratulations.
That's Massachusetts. They like They like high taxes. They like
They're liberal as it comes. Yep.
red tape, and you can't trust the Boston police.
No, you can't.
You know what I'm gonna have to ask about this?
Ask your sister.
Well, I'm gonna ask. I don't know if I'll get an answer, but I have a relative that dates a Boston policeman.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
And ask your sister too.
I'll ask her. I don't know if she knows anything about it because she probably doesn't pay attention to that stuff.
Well, it's on the night. It's on the nightly news. Like it's
Every night.
news now that it started. Yeah. So, yeah. So that's the case. I appreciate you letting me talk about it.
I love this show.
I do too.
I think the show has look at 347 concurrent viewers too, huh?
No, it's going to be huge because true crime sells. And guess who we get to start interviewing on Monday?
No,
Billy the liquor guy.
We should have some of his stories on Bloodlines and
yeah. Well, we're gonna make his series.
What should be our next one?
You had the case. I think your case is polarizing. The Texas case.
Oh yeah, we should talk Texas case.
I want to talk about that. We talked a little bit about it on Rebel Republic, but I 100% want to talk about it. Or that, or Lori Vallow Daybell, if you look her up.
Let's talk the Texas guy next week because that's in the news right now, just like Karen Reed is.
Yes.
And that case is obviously clear cut of who did it.
Yeah, that just blows my mind that they support
all the other stuff around it.
Yeah, they're supporting the assailant. It's just like, wow.
Yeah, maybe we can pull up some of the videos from their side, and then obviously some of the stuff from obviously the person who was killed side, and then discuss that. But we're probably going to be in the same boat from this standpoint. I think we are in this thing. Like the Karen Reed thing, as I read, it's just, you know what, to me, like backed up over when Tiger Woods' wife,
Edelin,
went after him,
smashed with the golf.
Yeah. She had a legitimate thing that she had found out that would send someone to a
cheating. Yeah.
Yes, cheating. There's nothing there with that, right?
No.
So that's what I think is like, what would trigger?
Well, if you they showed the dash.
She's not a loon. She's not a loon, right? She's not considered a loon. Karen.
No, she had a great job. Yeah, but listen, if you look at the dash cam video of when she gets there, when the police get there, she is running around, screaming, frantic, crying. But she had to, like I said, she had to be sedated. Would a guilty person do that? Act like that? Like, if you watch the video from the dash cam, she looks she's running back and forth. She can't sit still. She's crying.
You know what case we need to talk?
What's that?
JonBenet Ramsey.
I would love to talk JonBenet Ramsey.
Because I watched all the stuff on it. Have you watched the stuff on like Netflix?
100%.
You're a sicko like me. You're trying to figure out these things like I do. Like, I don't believe
I'm a true crime guy.
Yeah, I love true crime. I think we talked about it. Like Dateline used to be, was a great show.
Yeah, I watch every Dateline. Yeah.
And
is there any? There's no new news though about JonBenet Ramsey, is there?
No, but I've watched the whole thing, and and the people that were alive, some of them died since. But
the investigator who worked the case until his death left a lot of notes, and his daughter tried to pick it up. The investigator, one of the cops, retired and still worked on the case, and he believed that the brother did it.
Right.
And that was super controversial. And then ABC aired
The
a
brother of
John
JonBenet
Benet
Ramsey's
Ramsey.
mother.
No, the brother of John
Oh,
Benet Ramsey,
yeah. So one of the things that was weird and
the
hard
older
about,
brother.
right, because they said some of the sexual evidence was planted, right?
It could have been, but she was killed with a garrote, which
Right, the
is really old school. Like, I don't think a kid would be able to make a garrote. Like, no.
Exactly. That was right. That's what I thought was like hard to. A garrote seemed hard, and the whole thing about how quickly she found him or he found him.
He found him. Yeah, her. They called and said she was missing, and then he searched the house. They asked if he searched everywhere, and I guess the father found her in the basement. Yeah.
And the mother died. When the mother died,
Patsy died, but the parents were the parents were exonerated
right.
officially, but it wasn't until like 2008 because they said the parents, refused lie detector tests, or their attorneys wouldn't let them interview. So a lot of people thought the parents did it.
Well, that's usually where the first thing goes.
Yeah, but they would have no reason to. I mean, she was making him money. I mean, in pageants and whatnot. Like, I don't see that. I definitely think. I don't think the brother did it. I think it was someone outside, and there's been many people who've confessed to it.
Really?
Yes, there's been more false confessions to the John Benet case than anything. Google that, false confessions to the John Benet Ramsey.
That thing's frightening because
it was a sex offender.
Right. If indeed it was, if indeed it was a sex offender that came in and did it, it's crazy how he came in and did it.
Yeah. It was 5:00 in the morning on Christmas Day. But the evidence showed the window was broken from inside of the house, not from somebody outside going in, from somebody inside going out. And they think it was it was just done to confuse police. So yeah, that's a tricky one. I think with DNA evidence, I mean, eventually it'll get solved.
You think they'll solve that with the DNA? Like
They have to. I think they got they have some unknown DNA still. I have to check, but they haven't found a match yet for it.
Yeah, let's solve that case because that's a very.
Oh, I love that case. I love John Benet Ramsey. I would talk the OJ case. I love the OJ case.
The OJ case.
He didn't do it. What do you mean?
What did you think he didn't do it?
No, he didn't do it.
So
Why would he do it? He had no motive to do it.
Who do you think did it?
An unknown assailant. An unknown assailant.
See, you buy into the theory that, that there are more unknown assailants that are looking to do things.
I don't think OJ had a motive to do it. They were already divorced. They had
Ron Goldman's parents 100%.
Yeah. Oh, they to his death. I mean, they never got the money. He was supposed to pay out $30 million or whatever. Never paid a cent. They ended up auctioning off items from his house, and that's how OJ got arrested for trying to get them back.
The thing that made me think OJ could have done it was OJ before he turned around his image as a youngster. He was a gangster.
He
And
was?
yes, look it up.
Because they
So
said that he never embraced the black community. That
no,
was one
no,
of
you're
the
talking post fame.
he wanted to be white. Yeah.
That
They
was
said.
more fame when he became
Wow. He
famous.
grew up a freaking gangster. He
Yeah,
was
look it up.
hardcore?
He was hard. He
I
was
will.
hardcore. He went to JUCO first. Remember, if you remember, I don't know if you
I
know.
didn't know that. No.
He went to, I think, San Francisco Community College
Oh
or
wow.
wherever he was from. You know,
Wow.
and then went to USC. So he's
So he only played 2 years at USC?
pretty sure. Let me look it up to be sure. That's what I find polarized. When I heard that evidence,
I didn't know that. Wow.
like let's think about it. Now, if that's true, okay, and obviously nobody will ever know what the truth is one way or the other. When it happened, I was convinced it was OJ.
Oh,
There's
you're
no way.
right. He grew up in the projects.
Yes.
Holy crap. Of projects of San Francisco.
Now let's think about that. You grew up tough like he did, right?
Jesus.
He did
Wow.
once he football allowed him to turn around his life.
And you're
Okay,
right. He went to City College of San Francisco.
there you go. I have a lot of use.
Holy shit.
Yeah, because he was a track star, football player,
Yep.
track star,
Yep.
but really
Yep.
was a blessed athlete. I don't think he was a growing up. Not that he wasn't smart. He
No,
is
they said
smart,
he wore braces on his legs and had rickets when he
right?
was young.
But as he got older, he was. I mean, he was an unbelievable athlete.
Yes, yes,
I
but he
mean,
wore braces
unbelievable.
on his legs until he was 5, and he had a bow-legged stance. And he earned money by scalping tickets and collecting seat cushions at Kaiser Stadium. And he was raised by his grandparents. Wow,
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I just think that
He was a
he turned
OG.
his life around, and the things that Nicole Brown Simpson was a new boyfriend.
Well,
He
she met him at the end of his career. Like she didn't meet him during his heyday.
no, I know that, but I'm
And I
saying
believe he was
he's a
married before that
control
too.
freak. He's a control freak.
Yes.
Meaning he learned to control his urges, right? He controlled these things that he was originally as a six. Look,
Uh,
there were 62 separate incidents of domestic violence.
oh yeah, they got called all the time to the house. Yes.
Right. So this is a guy. This was my theory. This was a guy, and we'll talk O.J. Simpson too. And this was a guy who turned his life around because of football.
And then
But the
wanted
guy was still the
white
guy.
image.
That person was still there.
Right. The OG was still in him.
The OG was still in him, and but he was smart, so he
But
understood how.
he tried so hard to be white though. Like
Well, I
he
don't think
only
he wanted to be white, but
he went to white country clubs and
he tried. What I think he tried to do is I call it assimilate is the word.
yeah, of course, right. Because
I'm
people
not saying
always
white. Like I always say, because I always say that you want to see something fascinating. This has nothing to do with bloodline.
people are always hard on him because they say he did nothing to embrace the African American community.
Well, I'm going to explain an interesting, similar thing, but different. So, when Jews came to America, one
Yep.
of the reasons why Jews fit in, and kind of lost some of the old world identity, which is why you see a large amount of liberalism. Sometimes you say to yourself, how come Jewish people aren't for Israelis? You know what I mean? Who are also in those. Well, they've worked very hard to assimilate in America, right? Because of all the other countries that have rejected them over time. In America, it became an opportunity to assimilate, right? And when you assimilate, it's not really consciously, but it's more like subconsciously reject some of your own background, right? To um to the world that you're in, right? So I use that analogy because there's a great PBS thing on like Jewish people in America. I thought it was fascinating. Just came across it one night, and it struck me as how when there's anti-Semitism, you could see people like in New York Jewish people not saying, "Oh, the people," like you have people like us saying, "How could Columbia not allow that?" Right? But you have Jewish people that aren't barking against it. You have some that are, but because of assimilation, meaning you've come. You make your money in America. You do the things necessary to succeed in America, and it makes it hard when you assimilate sometimes to recognize that you're assimilating. Well, OJ assimilated and realized in order for him to be successful in America, he had to reject a lot of his background. I don't know if that
Right.
makes sense. You know what I
No,
mean?
he did.
So he had to
Absolutely.
reject a lot of his background, which was a very tough upbringing, which was a guy who figured out how to manage the streets. And because he figured out how to manage the streets, when he assimilated, he also figured out how to manage and adapt in, the white world. You know what I'm saying? Like adapt where he could succeed, and he knew what to say and do. But it doesn't mean that he wasn't still that same guy that was tough and from the streets. You know what I'm saying? So
Right. Absolutely.
and so my guess is that when you're controlling everything about your life, when you lose control of something, it's frustrating.
Oh, 100%.
So that's my theory. It doesn't mean my theory is at all correct. It would not hold up in court, my theory, because it's not evidential. Because obviously all the evidence was presented. But that's my
Right.
theory
Right.
as to why I think he could have done it, and not an outside person.
Well,
I
he most likely did do it. He most likely did do it. And everyone says that
and he went to his death never admitting it. It's amazing.
no, he wrote that book to get
Yeah,
money
if I
I
did it.
did it.
Yeah.
But the reason he was acquitted was because I believe it was payback for the Rodney King verdict. How all the cops got off for his beating.
I agree with that. I agree
And
with that.
that's what people say. And it was tried in had it been tried in Brentwood, where it would have been an all white jury,
Yeah.
that would have made a difference. I mean, there
I
was more
I, I agree with you. I feel like you know what?
because there were black women on the jury, and black women don't like white women.
I was thinking that I was thinking that the Rodney King thing was a terrible thing, right? That was right. That was
That was right before.
yep, an opportunity, and maybe as a jury, when there was some doubt, where the window of doubt came in there, um, it became a situation where the jury of his peers which were mostly African Americans in that jury, they said to themselves, you know what, this is a chance. We've been found guilty so many times when we weren't guilty, and here's an opportunity where this person may be guilty, but there's a error of doubt. We're going to make sure that we err on the side of doubt.
Right.
And the prosecution was so terrible, so terrible.
Marsha Clark. Yep. She never tried another
Chris
case.
Darden. And Chris
Christopher
Darden.
Gart, the token black guy on the team.
When they put the glove on him over
that was Christopher Darden.
that was right up OJ's alley. He was an actor. He was.
The
He's
story
one of my
behind
favorite,
that.
by the way, role actors of all time in the Naked Gun series.
You know the story behind the thing, right? F. Lee Bailey goaded him into doing it. He said like when they were on break or whatever, or walking in the hallway. He's like, you're not going to have him trying the glove. You won't do it. You won't do it. And Marcia Clark specifically told him not to do it. And he did it anyway.
F. Lee Bailey was most famous for the whole series with The Fugitive. He was the guy that got off the one.
Yeah, he represented him. Yeah.
Sam Shepard.
Yes.
You know what is amazing? I mean, I guess now, like, all these famous lawyers now do a lot of all the big cases. But when F. Lee Bailey did the OJ case, he really, even though he wasn't the main guy in that case.
No, but he did the Mark Furman cross-examination.
Right.
That really turned the case upside down.
Yes.
When he asked them about the N-word, had you ever said it?
F. Lee Bailey was brilliant.
And they had it up their sleeve. When he denied it, they had a rebuttal witness all ready to go to say, oh, he said it. He said it multiple times.
And it's crazy how fast time goes, because who's left of the OJ?
Robert Shapiro's dead. Cochran's
Robert
dead.
Shapiro's now dead?
I thought no, I'm sorry. He may be still alive. Robert Shapiro's alive. Carl Douglas is the one that speaks the most about it because he was a protege of Johnny Cochran.
Okay. Barry Sheck was young. He must be alive.
Barry Sheck, yep.
Alan Dershowitz is still alive.
Yep. From Harvard, yep. Barry Sheck was the DNA guy. He did a great job of like blowing up the DNA and the way they collected it.
Barry Sheck has become he was relatively unknown at the time.
Yeah. He was the DNA guy, and he did a great job. And he was also involved. One of them was involved in the Duke lacrosse scandal too. I thought it was him. But he was a lawyer for one of the guys. But yeah, I mean, that was a dream team for sure. But it was Robert Shapiro who came out after the trial and said he was very disappointed that they played the race card.
Right.
And, that pissed Cochran off. And Cochran, unfortunately, we lost him early.
Yeah.
Cochran was amazing in that trial.
It's sad that it's sad that Cochran died. I mean, he was 68, but he was really relatively young, right?
Very young, yes.
So it's sad that he died so young, because you would have liked to be able to get him on these shows and ask him questions over the next 15 years.
Well, Carl Douglas, if you watch the OJ documentary on Netflix, Carl Douglas speaks basically for Johnny.
Okay.
He said, Johnny thought this, Johnny thought that, Johnny, and I thought he did a wonderful job.
Do you know Johnny was the represent? I don't know if it was you would call him her agent, but you know who Johnny Cochran represented for a while when she first came out of college? Nikisha Sales.
Holy shit.
That was because back then I don't know what the deal was with the WNBA as far as what they required.
I don't think it started yet.
No, but I'm saying what they required as far as agents. It's not like the NFL where you had to pass a test at the time.
Right. Yes, right.
You know what I mean? So I don't think they had to pass any specific test. So yeah, I think Johnny Cochran, I believe, was her original agent.
That's crazy. That's amazing.
Because I remember she was telling me and Nikisha were in some classes together. So, and I think I tutored her when I was in grad school a little bit, and we were friendly. And I mean, she was cool. She was cool, but so I remember seeing her down. Where the hell was I? Oh, it must have been Orlando, and I met up with her, and we went out or whatever. And I remember she was just going out to the WNBA, and I think she was telling me, she hired Johnny Cochran. I was like, wow, Johnny Cochran. I was blown away. Obviously at the time she was the best player in UConn history at the time.
In the country probably.
Yeah, right. She was the best player in the country. But when you know somebody well, it's just like when you know Maria or Sue, you know them well, or Diana. you don't think of it. You they're just people to you, right?
Yeah,
So
you don't think of them
like
as
Johnny Cochran was a celebrity, but Johnny Cochran, I think, really had to pitch her on coming with Johnny Cochran to represent her.
right, because he wasn't like an athlete represent. He didn't
Right.
represent an
That
athlete
wasn't his
only when
thing.
they got in trouble.
Right.
I'm sure he represented them when they got in trouble, but
Yes, but not right. We're not to represent.
he didn't negotiate contracts or anything.
Yes, but obviously he could because he did. But anyway,
Well, he
but
would
yeah,
have, yeah, but I mean, for like the NFL, he would have had to
yes,
pass the test.
he would have to pass that if he was NFL. Yeah, absolutely. It's that case. That case is so crazy. There's a lot. Listen, the movie we talked about it a couple times ago. What was the movie with where they're in like Sweden or whatever the country is, and there's a weird case of these people being killed. Mara's daughter's in it. Mara, well,
50 something shades of
no,
gray.
not 50 Shades.
The girl with the dragon tattoo.
The girl with the dragon tattoo. That was I love those kind of movies. It's funny because not a lot of people, not everybody loved
that was a weird one. That wasn't like
weird one.
They hired an investigator to investigate a 50-year-old murder.
Correct.
Like, who would do that? That'd be like hiring someone now to investigate the JFK murder.
Well, they did release the documents.
Well, they did. No, they did on Robert Kennedy because they don't think that the guy who did it. People in the Kennedy family don't think that he did it.
Sirhan. They don't think.
Yeah.
They thought it was the mob or something.
I don't know, but one of the relatives went to interview him to see him in jail and talk to him, and came out and said, "It's not him. You got the wrong guy." And they supported his release for parole. And he never got it because he claims he has no recollection of it. He's like, I don't remember. I don't remember anything.
He doesn't remember anything, so they wouldn't release him?
Yeah. Like if he took responsibility for it, he may have had a chance of getting out, but he didn't remember anything. It's like, I remember nothing. I'm sorry. It was so long ago. I have no memory of doing it. I have no memory if I did it. It's like, yeah.
Like, I have no memory. Wow, I don't remember you of that time, basically.
Well, dude, he's been in jail for 50 plus years. I mean, would you remember?
He's still alive.
I know. Well, he was like 20 when it happened.
They say because it was anti-Zionism.
Yeah, like it made no sense. Like there was no motive for him to do it. So
possible parole in 1972, and that's why they didn't let him out.
Yeah, he kept saying I don't remember. But I'm pretty sure the Kennedys visited him. It was like in the last 10 years. And he said, and the relative said, I believe it. The other case I would talk about would be the Michael Skakel case. You know that one?
No.
Look that one up.
Michael Skakel.
He's a relative of the Kennedys.
What was he accused of doing?
Murdering a girl or a neighbor that he was like a peeping Tom, and he murdered this girl. And I believe he was tried, convicted.
Oh, he was a nephew of Robert Kennedy.
And then he was released on appeal. And then the appeal was overturned. He went back. It's been crazy. I don't know where it stands today, if he's still in or not, or if it's still on appeal. Does it say?
How about the case of speaking of Kennedys, Teddy Kennedy?
Oh, I love that one. The one where he drove in the river drunk, whatever.
Yes, my father, Chappaquiddick.
Chappaqua, yeah,
My
yeah.
father is 100% convinced.
That cost him the president. He would have been president if that never happened.
Yes, he would have.
Yeah. No, I know that well. He claims that he dove down after her, couldn't get to her, but I think he showed up. They were at a party, and he drove in. He was drunk driving, and the Kennedy wall protected him.
And he didn't say anything until like the next day.
Yeah. It was like he didn't come
Like it never
forward.
happened.
He went to sleep. Yeah, he went home, went to sleep. Yeah,
I don't believe for a second that he tried to help her.
It obviously wasn't on purpose. I don't think it was on purpose.
No. Yeah, he was
But
drunk.
I don't think he dove down after her.
I don't think so either.
And why? Then it's why didn't you tell anyone? He's like, oh, I panicked. I didn't know what to do. I was in shock. Da da da. Shock. You went home and you went to bed.
Yeah,
People in shock usually don't do that.
No. It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy that like some of these things that are.
Well, if you're a politician or celebrity, I mean, you always got a chance.
God, I didn't even see Chris D. Fuck yeah, Schuman and Cully True Crime Podcast. I'll finally catch this. Move over, Nancy Grace, Martha Boxing Murder, Mary Jo. Oh yes, that was the girl, I guess, who take Ted Kennedy can't dive down anywhere. Yeah, that. Plus, he was what was he? Was he cheating on his wife at the time too?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I thought he was in law school or college.
Okay.
No. I'm sorry. He was already he was a young congressman or senator. Maybe he was cheating on his wife. I don't know for sure. But yeah, I think that was brought up. That was brought up. Because why did he drive her home?
Like, right. That was he said he never had a private relationship with her.
Yes. Yeah. He never drove. Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly. I'm not sure about.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Yeah. He was at a, it was the island in Massachusetts. Wow. I didn't know that. It's by Martha's Vineyard.
I'm sure.
He pled guilty to leaving the scene of an accident and received a 2-month suspended sentence. And the part that angered me was the victim's parents were all for, they approved it. And I'm sure that, they paid him off. But it's ridiculous. So she asked for a ride back to her hotel. And the exact time of the crash is unknown due to conflict of testimony between Kennedy and the sheriff, who claimed to have seen a car at the time. Yeah. He was speeding, driving erratically. And there was no reason to go down that road. Yeah, it's really so Kennedy swam free, but she was not able to. He said that he called her name from the shore several times and then tried to swim down to reach her 7 or 8 times. He rested on the bank for 15 minutes before he returned on foot to Lawrence College. He denied seeing any house with a light on. His route took him back to 4 houses where he could have called to help, to get someone for help. He didn't attempt to contact any help or local residents. Yeah, I didn't know this. He returned to the cottage where the party was still in progress. But rather than alerting all the guests to the crash, he quietly summoned 2 people and collapsed in the back seat of a rented Plymouth in the driveway. And a friend drove to the crash site to try to rescue her from the car. They jumped in the pond repeatedly, but were not able to due to the strong current. After they recovered, they drove to the ferry landing. The 3 were all lawyers, and they discussed what they should do while standing next to a public phone. Gargan, his friends insisted that the crash had to be reported to authorities. Kennedy refused to.
Have
He
you
did
seen
not.
what this bridge looks like?
No, I know it's a wooden, terrible bridge.
Yeah, I'll show you. I like what Christy said.
Wow. And Kennedy, how about this? Kennedy called friends and lawyers for advice at 2:00 in the morning instead of notifying authorities that he was the operator of the vehicle, which was still upside down in the pond. He called his brother-in-law, Stephen Edward Smith, Congressman John V. Tunney, and others that morning, but did not report the accident. He was still at the payphone when he heard that his car and her body had been discovered. He then crossed back to Edgartown to go to the police station.
Do you see what the bridge looks like here?
Yeah.
That's the
Holy
bridge. It's nothing.
Yeah, he must have been wasted to drive off
The
that thing.
The water's not that deep.
That's why the car was upside down. And I guess it could be seen or whatever. I'm not, from what I'm reading.
Huh.
Wow.
You okay? Hey, what are you doing up?
Bye.
Did you go to a movie? Watch the movies?
What?
Would you watch a movie? What movie?
Rudy.
Oh, you watched Rudy!
Oh, I hate that movie. Oh, I hate Rudy.
You love it? That was a great movie.
Boo, Rudy. Boo.
Get out of here, Steve. I'm glad you liked Rudy's a great movie. I thought you were going to watch whatever you call it, not Sleeping Beauty.
Beauty and the Beast?
No, what was the movie that mom wanted? The horse movie?
Seabiscuit.
No,
Oh,
not Seabiscuit. Not Seabiscuit.
Oh,
Black Beauty. Black Beauty. You
Black
didn't watch
Beauty.
Black Beauty? Yeah.
You watch
Oh,
Rudy?
Black Stallion. Black Stallion.
Okay.
Black Stallion. Black
All
Stallion.
right. I gotta go. I gotta get going. I got
Right.
to.
That's crazy though.
I gotta pack. Yeah, I know. I can't believe the bridge was that. I mean, it. There's nothing to it. It didn't look deep. Like he clearly could have gotten her out of there. That's crazy. It's crazy. He went back to the party.
Well,
But
my theory on that, possible theory is, if he was having some sort of relationship with her,
he had to let her. Yeah, he had to let her. Go.
he wasn't going to let her go because he wasn't going to get in trouble.
Yeah. They, he knew that if it came out that what's worse, killing someone or cheating on them?
I mean, Jesus Christ, you're better off.
I mean,
the Kennedy family.
all they do. I mean, Kennedy, JFK was banging Marilyn Monroe. I mean,
Yeah,
like-
and right.
like it's expected.
Come on now, come on.
Really? Jesus.
Oh man.
All right.
All
I gotta go pack. I gotta get ready. So for another great Bloodlines and Betrayal, Dave Schuman and I can do it all. Remember that. We can do sports, we can do politics, and we can do true crime. Just try us. You want us to do horse racing? We'll do it. You want us to do beauty pageants? We'll do it. Because we're the best podcast team, and I am the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully. Remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges, throw them back at life. I'm sorry.